Awesome. So let's get started, Ajit. So thank you so much for giving your time today.
No problem.
I wanted to just start by asking, like, how was your life before joining BurnCal? Were you working out before? Were you focused on health enough? Like, what kind of things were you doing for your health, like before joining BurnCal?
So I have focused quite a bit on health for quite some time now, right? So I used to be close to 15 to 18 kgs heavier, but this was, we are talking like a good 12, 13 years ago. And one fine day I decided to take up running, and that has been a constant in my life. So I run a fair bit, but I started, so running started off as a means to lose weight and maintain a certain amount of weight. Over a period of time I realized that I'm clocking a lot of miles. There is no doubt about that. And I have a weakness for food. So at our place, I am the primary cook between me and my partner, and I'm the primary cook, and I have a huge weakness for food. So I realized that matlab, I'm running quite well, and I've ran a few full marathons. I'm fit enough to run a half marathon literally every week. But then I realized that when you associate yourself with a runner's body, so to speak, they are supposed to look like lean with a certain less fat content. ये मेरे साथ क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? So it's like I've been running my rear end off for a long time, but I'm not getting that body. Then slowly I realized that it's not just running, it's diet plus you have to do some strength training, etc. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I joined some HIIT kind of classes, which was a lot of fun. But then what happened is now with a child and we also have a dog, going to a certain place and training becomes a bit of a challenge. And then of course COVID happened 2 years ago and everything has become topsy turvy. So I on my own couldn't have the discipline. See, you can watch YouTube videos. At the end of the day there are certain set of exercises, right? There is no like a radical new exercise that's going to change your world. At the end of the day it's a structured approach towards your fitness that matters, right? So I realized that I couldn't get myself to get into that kind of a rhythm, coupled with a whole host of factors. I in fact joined cult right before COVID's first wave struck. So couple of weeks at cult were great, but it I couldn't sustain it for COVID reasons. And then I slowly realized that maybe I am not the person who can afford to go to a gym, because your timings are fixed, and it's like, let's assume it's 7 to 8 in the morning. Now that entirely depends on when the kid decides to wake up. He's just 3 to 4 years old, and I can't put a timetable around him. So our lives are centered around the kid, right? So then I realized that okay, this whole going to gym thing is not working out for me. So is there a way to remotely do stuff with some sort of a nudge? At least I am that kind of a person. If somebody gently nudges me, I'll do this stuff, right? So that's when my wife actually recommended BurnCal. She works with this VC firm called Antler, and she mentioned that she came across BurnCal and I should check it out. So I filled that online form, which was like a 15-day free trial, and that's how I got to interact with BurnCal. And
Got it.
so that's pretty much it. So I have been conscious about staying fit, but now I am slowly shifting the focus on more holistic, as opposed to just
Yeah.
running and eating whatever I want and
Yeah.
expect the kind of results that I expect. So that I'm realizing that's not going to work out.
Got it. Got it. No, absolutely. And I think there are a lot of runners out there, who uh, face this problem, even cyclists, right? Who face this problem that they just love that sport so much. They love running so much that they oftentimes they don't tend to focus too much attention on the diet and the strength training part of it, which is
Yes.
equally important for you to be able to better run. And when they realize that, like, they start doing it and they notice that change also. So absolutely, I can relate with you there. At the same time, like, I have a 1 year old kid, so definitely that fact where, like, your life just revolves around the kid, and
Yes.
having that flexibility of, like, working out when you get that like 30-minute slot is just
Yeah.
that flexibility is like what you need when you have a kid.
Yeah.
So I think absolutely, I think that totally makes sense.
And
So
so, yeah,
what?
so
Yeah,
and not to mention, I don't think you can compare the traffic scene in Ahmedabad with Bangalore, because in Bangalore, even a 2 minute, 2 kilometer commute takes a bit of time. And I would
yeah,
rather invest that time doing the workout rather than driving my car to the place. I think I
absolutely.
have never been to Bangalore, but as you're planning to come, you're about to,
Oh yeah,
get in for
yeah.
a route shock traffic
Yeah.
wise.
No, I've been there. I know the traffic. I think
Okay.
it's just like the 25-30% of the life is like in traffic there. That's like minimum. So I get that. Yeah. So, as you mentioned, like your wife suggested you about BurnCal. So what intrigued you to join BurnCal, right? Like you mentioned, you have tried CultFit as well. So when you checked out BurnCal, like what was it that was interesting enough for you to even consider or join BurnCal?
See, I wanted to start soon. I mean, I'll be honest, right? I considered a few options, and so there is no judgment associated with the options. So I realized that even CultFit does this remote learning programs. Of course, my membership expired, so because at the end of I forgot to check that option where pause my membership, because COVID is going on. So pause
Hmm.
my, I just forgot to do that, and I didn't want to get into, okay, can I get a refund or exchange,
Yeah,
blah blah blah. So I wanted to
yeah.
start fresh.
Mm,
I did consider a few other places. I know the person who runs Quad is actually, it's a family relative. So I did
mm,
consider other options. I can Quad. I talked to physical trainers, and I talked to BurnCal as well.
mm,
But the thing is, I guess BurnCal reached out to me on the same day. So I'm like, okay, why not, pick up the conversation, and if it seems good, let's give it a try. So I just wanted to get started, because I was kind of tired of running, and not seeing the changes that I wish to see. And what I
mm.
found nice about BurnCal is someone reached out on the same day,
Same day.
and
Yeah.
they said, okay, we are going to connect you to a coach, and let's take it
Mm,
from there. So that's pretty much the reason.
yeah.
I was kind of aware that this is going to be a app based long distance kind of a learning, and
Mm,
there would be a coach, and the coach
mm,
would dedicate some amount of time to me
mm,
designing the workouts, knowing what I want, and
mm,
designing the workout and helping me out with nutrition. So
mm,
to be honest, it was nothing like a huge differentiating factor with respect to other options. I just
mm.
like the fact that they BurnCal reached out to me fast, and okay, fine, let's just go with it. That's as simple
Yeah.
as that.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense, and we strive to is a technical word called time to value, right? And we like our team strives to always reduce that to the minimum possible. So it's good to know that that actually played a key role in your decision making. So I think that
Yes.
yeah, that's definitely very, very interesting. So yeah, so Ajit, like how's your experience been with BurnCal? So how many months has it been since you have been with us?
It's been a little over a month.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
so the first thing, like I said, I liked is the fact that someone reached out to me on the same day.
Hmm.
So that was good. And then I, of course, got introduced to my coach Ram. And of course, he had a good half an hour session with me, trying to understand what is it that I want. And
Hmm.
therefore, based on that, he put together a basic, a good exercise plan and a basic diet plan. So
Hmm.
all that is accessible on the app. It took a little bit of time for me to get used to an app, because I've never done this before. But I think the app is reasonably seamless, easy to navigate. The instructions are fairly clear. And so one hesitation I had getting into a situation where it's an app based learning is posture correction.
Hmm.
I'm still not sure if that is resolved for me, but having worked out a little bit before, at least I know some of the basics. Like if
Yeah.
the exercise is as basic as a crunches or a lunge, I'm aware of the basic posture.
Hmm.
So that kind of worked out overall. And
Hmm.
so the first thing Ram told me was, okay, to achieve these kinds of goals that you've laid out in front of me, you're going to need some strength training. And
Hmm.
that's how it started. So first, it started without weights. Then I told Ram, if I have some weights at home, So what I like about BurnCal again is, he customized the workouts because I had some weights. So he's like, he first asked me, do you have access to gym? I'm like, no, I don't want to do gym for various reasons. But then I told him, at least for me, if you tell me, Ajit, get some weights, I can do that. So I can set up something quick at home. So I think he kind of understood that, and slowly now, after 3 to 4 weeks, we've started doing some workout with weights being involved. So overall, it's been a good experience, absolutely. So and any questions, I can WhatsApp Ram anytime. He gets back to me as soon as he can. And of course, being a scientist, ask all kinds of analytical questions.
Yeah.
Okay, why this many grams of that stuff, or what if I do this instead of that? So he has a reasonable explanation for me. So I'm fairly happy with BurnCal so far.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And delving into the specific of your coach, Ram, right? So you mentioned a couple of things already, but can you elaborate further on like how Ram has played a role in or a contribution in your fitness journey so far in the last 1.5 months?
Okay, so I think like the first thing is, he listened to me in terms of what I wanted instead of saying this is what you're going to do. So that kind of helps a lot. The other thing is, more than losing weight or gaining muscle, it's about setting up a system that you can sustain for a long time. So in principle, if I choose, so I have a 3 month subscription with BurnCal as of now. Let's assume for discussion's sake, I choose to leave BurnCal after 3 months. I understand that I now have a system that I can practically sustain for a long period of time. Understanding what needs to be done if this is what I want out of my body in terms of fitness. So that part is something that Ram is really helping me understand. So that is something I appreciate quite a bit. And of course, the other part I appreciate is, I can ask him any question related to fitness, and he'll do his best to answer. And sometimes he shares personal experience also. When I was trying to do this for my body, when I reached out to my nutritionist or to my coach, that's what he or she told me. And those kinds of connects, help quite a bit. So he's accessible for sure, and he has a reasonable amount of knowledge when it comes to fitness. So I'm definitely benefiting from both. And of course, when I share feedback that okay, this workout was quite intense. So okay. So I had a few weights lying in my home, and I kept nudging Ram, why are we not doing weights? He's like, no, first get used to what I'm giving you. And then when I did the workout for a week, I realized what he meant, because I kind of struggled through some of the stuff. So then slowly, when I gained some amount of basic strength, now we are slowly, moving to weight stuff like that. So uh, obviously he knows what he's talking about. So I'm glad that we could follow through that plan that he has, and what he's doing for a reason. So now I totally kind of respect that. So yeah, in a nutshell, he's accessible, he has knowledge, and he listened to me and understood what I wanted. And based on that, he's tailored a basic diet plan and a basic exercise plan. And in the diet plan, he's not like, don't eat this, don't eat that. So this is your
Yeah.
total calorie intake, this much protein, this much fat, this much carb. You figure out how you want to do it. As simple as that.
Got it.
So
Got
that
it.
is something I appreciate as well.
Got it. Got it. No, I think absolutely. And Ram is one of those coaches who has a lot of knowledge on fitness on the subject, right? And he also likes to get too technical. So I think that way is like it's a good match, like for you, because like you
Yes, I
basically
like that. So if somebody gets technical,
yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Cool. So now, moving on, I want to ask, like, what changes have you experienced in yourself, right, in the last 1 month? Is it like after joining BurnCal, speaking of like physically and even mentally, like, have you seen any changes in yourself, after joining us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, see, I have lost about 2.5 kilos. Now, BurnCal has played a key role in terms of getting me to do some strength training. But it's so right now it's 3 days a week, right? So the other
Mhm.
3 days, I have that positive energy and I use the concepts that I learned from Ram. So earlier, my runs used to be about I have a bhagna, I'm at this much distance, I have to clock in this amount of time. But what I learned from Ram concepts like, your heart rate is in a fat burning zone, then it's in a certain different kind of a zone. So if your objective is to burn fat, then you should be running at this heart rate. So that concept has really helped me to tailor my runs. So I no longer strive to, run my rear end off and get tired and then sleep for the next 2 3 hours, something like that. So the objective of my run has shifted a little bit. It's like, okay, what Ram helped me or BurnCal helped me do is break it down as a simple system for me, right? The days on which I'm doing strength training, I'm obviously working my muscles, and whatever protein or diet I eat helps build them and make them stronger overall. On the days I'm not doing BurnCal, let me burn some fat so that I don't want to say the body gets toned or whatever, but there is some amount of fat loss. And for that, I don't need to do some super intense activity. Basic heart rate concept really helps me. So it's a combined effect of both. But of course, Ram has helped me discover that system that is working for me. So as a result of that, like I said, I feel that I've gotten a little leaner, and I've lost about 2.5 kilos. And I don't think I need anyone to tell me the changes, because my clothes are telling me very, very clearly. As a matter of fact, the shirt I'm wearing today, it was a tad tight. Now it fits just right. Same thing with the pants also. So yeah, I mean, it's a very it's very it feels good to realize certain things that your clothes are telling you very clearly that there have been some changes, and I guess I'm definitely moving in the right direction. And like I said, I can reach out to Ram anytime I feel like either if I'm overdoing or underdoing things, or what can I do best to reach my goals. So yeah.
Got it. Got it. I think that's great. I mean, that's really good to hear. Uh, and also speaking on the mental side of things, like, do you think mentally it has helped you? Like you mentioned that whenever you go for a run, you go with a positive state of mind. And now that you have the right knowledge and the right structure, I'm assuming you have a peace of mind where, like, when you're doing something, you're feeling good about it, and you feel that, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. Whereas before you were mentioning that you were just running without like really having a structure, so that made you think like, am I doing something right or wrong? So I'm assuming there's a peace of mind. So can you elaborate a little bit on that, like the mental side of things, like has it helped you in any way?
See, running for me always has been about mental health as much as physical. So running is my way to shut myself off the rest of the world, work, family, anything. Just put on my headphones, listen to some music, run a certain. So it's like go from point A to point B and come back home, and I consider that good as some amount of attaining some amount of peace. This has been the case for the last 3 to 4 years. Before that, of course, I was one of those okay, I need to run the first 5K in X minutes, then the next 5K in Y minutes, and then I realized that it just sucks the joy out of running for me, right? Other people may seek joy in that. For me, I didn't seek fun in that. So I was like, okay, why am I running? It's to just attain that peaceful state of mind. So that still continues to be the core purpose. But now, what the added element with BurnCal is that knowing the whole heart rate concept, I am running easier, and therefore the energy that I have after the run actually helps me sustain throughout the day, as opposed to earlier when I used to go for a 20-25 kilometer run every single week, and once I came back, I used to lie down for 2 3 hours because I felt tired. I felt good but tired. But what that does is you have family commitments and your half of your day is wiped out in that. Now I'm like, okay, let me not do this, every week go for one long run. Let me now every alternate day when I'm not doing this workout, go for shorter runs, but bear in mind that heart rate concept. Just stay in that fat burning zone, because that has become the purpose of my run, which is to complement the workout that I'm doing on the other days with BurnCal. So that whole system that I alluded to is working quite well so far. And for that, I must thank Ram for helping me discover.
Got it. Got it. That's very nicely put. Okay, so now moving on to we have a lot of people who are still struggling to make the first move, right? A lot of people for them, they know they want to get fit, they know that something is not right, but there's an inner resistance, right, to change and take it. So you being someone who looks like now very confident about your fitness journey, right? Like I'm seeing a lot of confidence, a lot of positivity in your nice in your voice, where like I'm seeing that you've figured out what the structure should be like, and you're maintaining and following that structure, right? And I think you're very regular, right? From your talk, I'm just assuming that. Is it like, have you been regular with your workout? Yeah, cool.
Yes.
So what would you suggest someone who's just starting out? Like, what is essential to achieving one's fitness goal?
See, I think first thing I would suggest is, the person has to ask himself or herself, what is the purpose? See, I firmly believe in purpose drives people. So it's not like, oh, I saw Hrithik Roshan, he looks good, I want to look like Hrithik Roshan. Good, but whether that is realistic or okay, fine. You know what? Let's say you look like Hrithik Roshan. What will you achieve as a result of that? Right? So one has to ask that fundamental question first. Why do you? Because lot of people have this mental image associated with fit. I mean, it has to be thin, lean, muscular, whatever it is for that person. But first, ask yourself a very simple question: what is the meaning of fitness and exercise to you? Why are you doing that? Let us say you achieve. Let us say forget the BurnCal journey, which is a systematic approach. Let us say you had a wand. You could wave that wand and you could get the fitness goal that you have in a minute. What would that mean to you? Right? But then you will realize, okay, what is the purpose that I'm trying to achieve as a result of what I call fitness or exercise or looking or feeling good. Once you're clear on that, because see, the whole idea is to either enjoy or at least not treat it as a drudgery, because that one doesn't exist in reality, right? Because
Yeah.
once you become clear about that purpose, you will realize that there is no magic wand. It boils down to some amount of nudge from a structured approach, of which BurnCal is an example, and lot of it depends on what you put inside your body and how disciplined you are about it. Initially, when I would say this to someone, it would sound like random gyan, and that would put
Yeah.
people off. So,
Yeah.
my request for somebody who's beginning is be clear about why you want to do this. So, and
Got it.
then if let's say that person is sharing that with BurnCal, then BurnCal could try to probe that mental aspect first. Be as clear as possible as to why you want to do it, and then maybe tailor the conversation accordingly. So that's what I have to say.
Got it. Got it. That's very nicely put. So also just to follow on and ask a question to that, how can someone discover that purpose, right? Like what would you recommend someone who is unsure what the purpose is? Uh, what steps they can take to discover that? Or maybe for you, like taking your example, how did you discover that purpose for you when it comes to fitness?
It's a great question. um, see,
I'll tell you, like, I'll add to that because see, in my case, I'll tell you how I discovered my purpose, because I live in a family like where my father, all my uncles, they have always been into fitness. Like growing up, I've seen them like every single morning they'll go for a walk. And in the past 10 years or so, my father has started going to gym, right? And he's just so regular that even when we are traveling, right, when we are going out for a vacation, he still gets up in the morning and he still gets and go for a walk, right? And if you're
wow.
staying at a place where there's a gym, he'll go and he'll work out in the gym for like some time, right? So that just like always motivated me. And my purpose was just this, that okay, for me fitness is like discipline. For me fitness is that like every day I'm just like taking a step towards becoming more disciplined, right? And that discipline then becomes my identity, which comes into my other aspect of life, right? Like even when I'm working, that discipline is helping me. Even with me being parents, that discipline is helping me. So I think so that became my purpose. That discipline became my purpose. That okay, for me, it's not about, like you mentioned, I don't want to have like a body like Hrithik Roshan, not something I want to show, right?
Yeah.
But just that everyday habit, like it just brings in discipline into me. So that's how I discovered my purpose, by just looking at like people very close to me and how, like, it shaped their life. So wanted to, so what about you?
So I think the key word for me is then introspection, right? Because there are things that you do for others, which you have to for to some extent, but when you clear all that out, you will know what you need to do for yourself. Because see, each human being has that element of authenticity, right? That you can pretend on the outside, you can say things, you can do things, but at the end of the day, when you clear all that clutter and attain that inner clarity, because then what happens is you truly feel motivated to do that, because you don't care about what the outside world thinks, right?
Mm,
Now, if it so happens that looking a certain way is that purpose, great. Otherwise,
sure.
it's like,
Yeah.
look, I am doing this to feel more confident. So
Mm,
then the focus shifts from the form to the substance. So it's no longer,
mm,
I want to look like Hrithik Roshan. It's like,
mm,
okay, I want to inculcate that element
yeah.
of some kind of discipline and some kind of, okay, if I can do this, so if I can
Mm,
finish this workout or if I can finish that run, that
mm,
is me telling myself that, hey, I can do anything. So
mm, yeah.
so one has to do that introspection
Yeah.
in a peaceful environment,
Mm,
and that bulb has to go off, because every human being has things that fundamentally drives them.
mm,
So I think, just referring to the question that you were asking, how do you find that purpose? Only way is through introspection, because you can keep telling yourself, in terms of how you want to please others, or how you consider or treat how what others are saying and doing to you. But if you dig down deeper, when you just go in a place where there is no one, you don't care about anyone else, you genuinely ask yourself what makes you happy, it may actually turn out that whatever fitness journey you are trying to undertake is actually driven by others' perception of you. So at the
mm,
end of the day, the goal is to find what makes you happy. If
mm,
fitness is an enabling factor in that, you yourself will admit that, and then go towards joining a BurnCal or any other program for that matter. So you have to
yeah.
ask yourself after that introspection why you're doing what you're doing, and there has to
Mm,
be an answer. I mean, I can't believe that there exists a human being with absolutely no purpose whatsoever. So
mm,
there is a purpose inside everybody, and it has
yeah.
to be discovered through some sense of introspection.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think spending that time, in isolation, just thinking about, what is it that drives you in life, right? What is it that is important for you? It just gives you like so much purpose rather than just like blindly following what other people are doing, or just like, having, just not knowing, I think, that why you're doing certain things. So, I think I absolutely agree with you. I think this has been really fun. So that's all my questions. Let me just stop the recording.